Hello everyone and welcome to Inner Sanctum Studios. I'm Sharon Martin and today is the 7th of November in 2023. So I want to tell you that this week could be the most incredible, the most massive week of our lives. And I'm not saying it's not going to get bigger, but this could be the biggest week of this year, I reckon. And one of the reasons is because we're in all of this 777 energy. We're in this series of what I've been shown as activation portals of the 4th and the 7th and the 11th. And we are rocketing, I want to say, we are rocketing towards the 11th. We're here in New Zealand now. We are on the 7th. And hello, Sarah, and hello, Carolyn, and hello, Lottie. So they are really big energies and they are kind of having a lot of effects. And they might be having an effect of making people feel squirmish and churny, and they might be having an effect of making people feel nervous and apprehensive because there's a lot of unknown here. There's a lot of unknown in a whole host of ways, and it's almost unknown on top of unknown. It's so challenging to be able to predict because of this shift that I want to tell you is in the happening of, is in the expansion and the increase of the exponential increase expansion of. And so it's like expansion on top of expansion. So let me tell you that in general, we're in this time where the collective is experiencing strong recoding and DNA reconnection, and this idea of being leveled up through our DNA stranding, being reconnected back to 12 strands of DNA, bringing in our codes, our gifts, our talents, our psychic abilities, as we are becoming these fifth dimensional human beings here on the earth. So there's this real feeling of walking a bridge, and that bridge is like a swing bridge, and it's shaking and it's moving and it's shuddering, and it feels a bit like that in our bodies as we're in this. I want to, if you think about this kind of movement on a swing bridge, this is this, the further more to the nth of purification and of this transformation, this old leaving. So we've had this, how it showed up to me is the 4th of this November and the 7th of this November, which is today, and then the 11th. And that they would be having variant degrees of these codes coming in. Hi, Champion for the Cause. Hi, Anne. Hello, Carolyn. Hello. Yeah, and this stepping into power, more daily, constant up leveling, that's a really good phrasing, Carolyn. And that's what we are all doing. So to me, it's been showing up, and I've been speaking to my clients about that. It's like you're gathering yourself up into your empowerment, into your center, just checking that there might be any healing that needs to be done can be done, and then coming into balance, this masculine feminine balance within, and then coming into the union of that balance within, this masculine and feminine union within, coming into harmony, into alignment, and then the next part can happen. But that's where we're at now. That's where we're at now, coming into that greater version of self in preparation to become a higher dimensional version of self. So these codes that are coming in on the 11th, I want to be calling those master codes. The 1111 gateway, that's, the 1111. And so we could break that down in a whole lot of ways, but I don't think that we will. But the 11 is a mastery code, and this is what's going to be coming in for us on the 11th. Is we are building to that now. So the mastery, the magic, the transformative powers that are happening within our systems, within our cells, as we are being transformed in a very tangible way from carbon to crystalline silica. Hello, Billy. And it's exciting, and it comes with a bit of trepidation, and I want to tell you, we've never done this before. No one ever has, and so we don't know how to do it. So it's important for us to be in the present moment with each thing that unfolds. And I I feel that there's going to be a lot of mystery that comes with this, and there's going to be some sort of directional changes, some surprises, some unusual redirects. All of that's going to happen. So yesterday, well, first of all, there has been weird things happening with time, haven't there? It's as though time collapsed in a massive way. Yesterday, to me, could have been 3 days long. I started early and I finished late, but it felt like it could have been 3 days. I really had to keep tuning into myself. What day is it? What and right through from Thursday, I was a bit like that. I was out of sorts with the day and with the date. And this is all a part of what I am reading as our dimensional shift, and what I'm reading as this, like the sky falling in, or the sky shifting, or the sky not looking right. The clouds in the sky in the last 2 days, to me, they have looked like props. They have looked like they are somehow suspended there with more like more solid mass, less floaty, more like they're made out of something that has greater mass than what we would normally see. It's definitely felt like that. There's been this energy of feeling like we're in something new, but it's not easy to put your finger on it. There's this feeling of being in the intangible tangible, in the physical but the unknown, there's something going on here that I can't put my finger on, and it feels new and it feels unknown and it feels exciting. And that, I believe, is this dimensional shift. And it is as though we have shifted frequency and shifted dimension. At least some of us have, and that as we move into that more strongly, that will have an impact on others. So this, yesterday it felt as though the negative, the lower, the shadow aspect had totally gone, and so that had an impact. That had this elevating impact because there was nothing dragging down. It felt like there was completely, I mean, it won't be entirely completely gone, but the sense of it was that the sky was higher. That's what I want to say. It was as though the sky was suspended higher, uplifted. And what I wrote here was that I was seeing that codes, keys, information, crystalline and crystalline light, DNA upgrades, especially affecting eyes, ears, nose, throat, head, face, neck, spine, because everything is coming into a higher frequency. So it's affecting us to the bone, to the blood, to the marrow. This is all what is being sort of evacuated as well as brought in. And that when we come into the 1111, that we're going to be bringing in then our own personal mastery codes, and we're going to be assimilating these crystalline grid lines within, and they're going to be activated. And that is also linked to the timeline. So we could be talking about the ley lines, the grid lines, um, and then our own personal meridian lines, the planet and us, these becoming activated in a crystalline format. So this exponential transformation is what I wrote here through this multiple 777 gateway. So today is that in terms of a numerological way of marking the day. It's the 7th. It's a 7-year, 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. And then when you add that up to 11, you get a universal day of 7. So we can call it a 777 day. 777 as numerology is full of magic, is full of transformation, it's full of miracles. So these are the tones. Ding, the tones of miracles, magic, and transformation today. It's exponential, I want to say, and it's through this gateway that everyone is likely to feel a lot of activations, and maybe in different ways. So some people might be feeling pain in the bones, in the blood, in the marrow, to the core. Some people might be feeling that in the skull, and some people might be feeling that in their gut, being very churny as these internal activations are happening and creating, again, to another level, to another depth, to another degree, purging and purification. And so, yeah, maybe impacting you in your digestion, in your elimination system, and maybe, I know that yesterday a number of people I spoke to had sore eyes, aching eyes, as though they'd not slept. And if you're like me, sleep's not come easily to me, but other people are doing an extreme amount of sleep, and so we go through these cycles in different times. Hi, champion, for the cause. If I didn't say hello, I'm a little bit discombobulated. I already did this video once on the wrong channel, and then a whole lot of things technologically occurred, and then I had to walk away. So, hi, Billy. And Sarah's saying she's sleeping a lot is crazy. Yes, someone else messaged me today and said that they were sleeping a lot as well. And I know that I was doing that a little while ago. I was sleeping a lot. It's integration time and assimilation. That's what I believe. When we are asleep, our body does the integration and assimilation in a more gentle way. So through this multiple 777 gateway, you are likely to be feeling perhaps these effects of purification and of purging, and you might be experiencing digestion and elimination issues, and you might be feeling it to the bones, and you might be having symptoms going on with your eyes and ears and throat, and in the spine. So I want to say be gentle with yourselves. Also observe the changes in your heart, because we are having very impactful heart activations, heart expansions. And I want to say that we are in the movement towards those 8, what were they called? Components anyway. They have a better name than that. But those 8 components that I think I was shown in June, maybe, that our hearts are going to physically chambers. Our hearts are going to physically have 8 chambers. And so it's my sense that we have begun that in the physical, and that may feel like the bones and the cartilage around your heart wall are being stretched. So I want to remind you to observe those changes in your heart. And I want to remind you that you can do this. even though no one has ever done this before in the history of the multiverse, we are doing it. We are prepared for it. We are on point to it. And we are in this readiness for it. We are aligning ourselves with ourselves, our true organic nature in this physical, original divine plan blueprint that each of us hold. And this is our shift to the higher dimension, and it's going to bring about new movements. It's going to bring about changes, and it's going to bring about these changes for higher alignment. So I'll get to that in a moment. I want to just speak to this while I'm here. It really is my sense that it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict what is going to happen. It's how I'm reading it is that there is still a big number of people, a large group of people who are still very much in their three-dimensional experience. And what I believe is going to happen is over this next week, and beyond, but over this next week, that many people are going to have a dimensional shift. The frequency is going to have an impact that opens up the heart, that brings people into higher consciousness and into a higher dimensional space, into a higher connection and more of their own higher self will drop in. And I believe that this is going to happen with a lot of the divine masculine over this week, and that there could be quite massive about turns, that there might be things that just happen quite quickly. This whole conversation that I've been having about the spin, right? The spin getting faster and higher and accelerated exponentially. We could be observing that happening in our world in a whole lot of different ways. And I feel that might be something that impacts the divine masculine. So it may be that they make a shift from being very in their 3D physical existence in the matrix to all of a sudden hearing their higher consciousness in conversation with them, and that could bring about a lot of about turns, rotations around the post, if you like, for their relocation of jobs and situations and geography and relationships. So all of this, I believe, can be, it's that spinning on a dime idea, that these things could happen in a rapid way. Let's see what Carolyn has to say. I set the foundations daily as it's my blueprint, and today was opening the soul star chakra for higher remembrance of our Akasha. Beautiful. So the soul star chakra sits as the 12th chakra, is my understanding, although that might not be correct. It might not be the 12th, but it sits in the 12th position up here. But that some numbering systems number the Earth star chakra as a higher number as well. It sort of goes top and bottom. But yeah, that's right. And this is I believe that is part of our higher alignment, to go from those physical chakras to then at the 7th here, up through to the soul star chakra. And this is our accessing our old lives to a greater extent, our old codes, our old skills, our old gifts, our higher alignment. It's dropping in. And so I want to say, for the divine masculine, how that showed up to me is this idea of them really being in wearing armor, wearing that the old metal armor of the knights, and watching that come in a very clunky way, because it's heavy and this is a fast movement, and that's how it was showing up to me, as though it was noisy and heavy, and the armor sort of dropping down in segments over them, and this feeling very uncomfortable in their skin, really. And this is the little bit of poetry that came, this morning. Knights of old, men of bold, release your hearts, time for new start, reclamation of yourself. They are, and we are as well, everybody is to one degree or another embodying the higher self. So this is in readiness for this next step. This is stepping into the physical remembering of themselves. So this is the you becoming you that we spoke of the other day. And this is what the masculine, the divine masculine, are doing now, is that they are reclaiming themselves. So them coming home to themselves, their higher self coming in around them. The other thing that showed up for me, which I thought was quite amusing, is I got that they could be in stealth mode. So it could be that it's like they are, I was watching one DM who he will be moving from one country to another, and it was just funny because I saw him mid-Atlantic Ocean, and that's how it was showing up. It was like he was wrapping himself in like this invisibility cloak, being like the clandestine secret agent, moving across the ocean. And so that's the message that came around that the divine masculine may be in stealth mode so that they can arrive unannounced, or wearing an invisibility cloak so they can sneak up on you, divine feminines, as a surprise. There's this element too of they can't not. So there will be divine masculine who will be in argument with themselves over this, who will be in argument with the divine. But I feel that it will be like this. They can't not. I know that's a double negative, and it means that it's a yes. It has to be a yes. I don't believe that there is free will to that extent. It's a can't not. There's too much at stake. It's a world issue. This is a humanitarian mission. These twins, these divine counterparts, they came to the earth for mission and purpose, and that is to do with ascension. That is to do with wrestling or wresting the planet out of the clutches of the dark, of the evil. And that is why twin flames, divine counterparts, came to the earth at this time to rescue humanity out of the clutches of the evil. And so I'm sure that there is some free will in there, because we do live in a free will universe, but I do feel there'll be strong compunction, strong pressure. That's how it shows up to me, that the divine, or Father God, if you like, will be putting a lot of pressure on these connections to take place. So then today, this is what I wrote from Gaia. I did 2 bits of writing today. We are dealing with the crystalline now, the foundational crystalline nature of our higher being, and the master codes, the crystalline nodes and lights, the crystalline frequencies relating to the planetary structure and to the human structure of the body, the physical embodiment of Christ consciousness, of the Christos, of the crystalline, of the Christos Sophianic codes. This is what we are doing, embedding, receiving, and aligning with. And so I invite you to be feeling into this invocation and to feel that you can repeat it in your own space as we go. I'll leave some space in between the words. We call upon this sacred code now. The mastery code of the 777 to transform, to transmute, and to heal all my asthmas and all wounds back through time, as well as forward through time and space. Through 7 generations of bloodlines, past and future, that they are cleared, healed, transformed, and transmuted, all to a higher, crystalline, clear frequency. That we are bringing in the codes of magic and miracles to assist in the clearing out of all of the old, of all of the lower thought forms, and anything that is not aligned. And we are calling in the higher principles and codes. And we are calling on the authentic action of the Godhead, of Mother, Father, Creator God, of the divine principles, of the Christ consciousness, of the Christos Sophianic, that we may arise, that we may ascend, that we may become our authentic, sovereign selves, and that humanity is held in a unified field of consciousness. And we are now creating our abundant heaven on earth. So I want to say to you that it's easy to get rocked about, and it's easy to look in the physical and declare that things aren't happening, but they are. And it's like, these things could happen last minute, or they might not happen at all. But I want to say that everything is happening for the higher, and sometimes it might not feel like that, but that ultimately, everything is happening for the higher. And so some people's situations may be taken out of your life and some may be brought into your life, but it will be for the highest. And so be in the place and in the space of that everything is happening for my highest, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for all of you being here, and I'm grateful that we are in this experience together, and that it is looking amazing and magical, and it's a little bit mystical as well. And we are right in the throes of it now, building up to the 11:11 gateway. And that is when mastery is really going to come and find its seat in your soul, in your psyche, in your heart. And so you will become more telepathic, more attuned, more able to read the energies, more empathic, more in your higher. And I send you so much love from my heart. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful rest of the 7/11. And let's call in all this amazing, magical, and mastery of transformation for our beautiful beloveds to be coming into their own alignment, and for the dance of alignment to be completed. That whole thing about, the changing of dance partners, the movement on the chessboard, all of that. We're in the sort of, I want to say, the final reverberations of it. Yeah. All right. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. All right. Much love, everyone. Thank you. Bye.